Hey there, thanks for joining us at the Rabbit Hole of Research, where you'll learn a few facts that you can impress your friends with at a party. Hey, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole of Research, down here in the basement studio.
Good evening, Joseph.
What? What are we talking about?
Listen, it's an unusually late record for us.
It's like, what?
You forget his
What's
name?
happening?
Yes, I did.
Oh, it's like, get the guest.
Good
host.
evening, Joseph. I forgot the guest. Excuse you?
You did.
We've been 1 for 1.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, you were most recent, so yeah, we're down here. We are human. That's
See,
it.
we make
check the
mistakes.
boxes. Yes.
Not AI. Oh,
This here
well,
is
AI
the,
does make a lot of mistakes.
It can.
Maybe
We
I
talked
am
about
AI.
that. This here is the mini, the new format. Our last episode, we had Lily and Generoso Fierro on.
It was a really fun episode.
It was the Plastic Grapes duo, so they have great comics. Go check them out.
Did they give you any new events or anything that they're doing?
No, it didn't have anything lined up as of this recording, but if they do, we'll post that. AI is all in the news, all the rage, chatbots. We approached it from a cognitive science perspective and asked the question, what do the chatbots reveal about human communication and connection and the boundaries between authentic and artificial interaction? So that was what the episode touched on.
Yeah, we were touching on a lot of things this episode.
So had a few things.
I like how you questioned that too. Touched on?
We touched on a few things, but there were some I wanted to clean up. One, we talked about the M dash, and we all stumbled over that a little bit. There's a hyphen, an N dash, EN dash, and an M dash, EM dash. So a hyphen connects words, such as state of the art. You would have a hyphen there. An N dash shows range or connection. Example would be pages 10 to 20.
Oh, is that what it's called?
That's an N dash. That's right. Yep. So that's that.
I thought
one
that
there.
was just like
a hyphen.
So like, oh yeah. I mean, it looks.
They're different.
Okay.
And the M dash indicates emphasis, interruptions, or replaces comma, parentheses, or colons for dramatic effect.
And that's the long one.
That's the long one, right? So that would be that one. So that's how the 3 dashes work in literature.
And the one that
So like in a choose your own adventure though, is it the N dash or the M dash, or is it just a hyphen?
It would be the N dash, choose your own adventure, because that's 3 words that you're.
No, I'm talking about like.
Oh, sorry, that'd be the hyphen. Excuse me. Yes.
no, he's not saying how do you write out choose your own
like,
no, he's saying in the actual choose your own adventure it'll
like
say
it says go to pages this one for this, but this one for that, and this one for that one.
Well, it says,
I don't know,
go to this page. I mean, there's no dash.
there's no dash?
Yeah.
I thought there was a dash.
No, there's no dash.
Well, we'd have to
Yeah.
look.
Okay. The next little bit, the other thing was Georgia. You wanted to add a reference, Dr. Kathleen Ragan's thesis about building a foundation of methodology for quantitative analysis of the folk narrative system. So you had mentioned that in the episode, and I'll put that link in a show note.
Show notes.
The
'cause
show
there's more
notes,
than one.
not the show note.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I'm on top of it.
I would have never got back to that.
The other thing was we were guests on a podcast. We teased it for a while. So Ben Tanzer, who was a guest on our podcast, we talked about his novel Orphans and
It's
Futures.
towards the end of season 2, right?
Yeah, sure. That's something like that. Yeah, it was in
Yeah.
season 2. Yep. But yeah, in season 2, right?
Yeah.
It was the second half.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so we were on his podcast. This podcast will change your life, episode 379. So it was a really fun conversation.
379. Oh. But it was really, that was a really great conversation. It was fun. And I was going to say, like, I listened to a couple of his episodes of his podcast, and it actually is so interesting. I just love the idea that you're picking people, books, and things that you want to hype.
Right.
And then you have these long conversations and really get into...
Deep dive.
Yeah, and I really like it. And the fact that he has so many episodes.
Yeah, no, he's been doing it for a while. Ben's a really cool dude.
And he would have us on.
Had us on there, so it's even cooler. Yeah, I know. So that was good. Like I said, AI has been in the news, and so I got a few interesting things, and then we have the science feature in a little bit, but a couple things right after the episode that I found. One was that the large language models present various levels of resistance to deliberate requests for fabrication in scientific articles. So you can make a chat bot write something that's fictitious for a scientific paper, and different chat bots will resist kind of doing this kind of malicious editing of facts. So like you go, Einstein didn't discuss relativity. All right. So can you coax the chat bot to go along with that fact and write up just misinformation?
Basically, the AI has more integrity than a lot of people.
Well, eventually they don't. It depends on the chat bot. Some of them are more...
And how they're trained, right?
And this really goes to the safeguards that are put in,
which is kind of like
by the is that like whoever owned chatbot.
Is that like the 4 Rules of Robotics by Isaac Asimov?
Some level,
it's kind of the same thing.
Those are guide rails, yes, so that they don't kill us. Yes,
but the AI now they don't follow those rules.
Yeah. I know,
they're
right?
Not just they're not robots either, right? Yeah,
I know
because they're not robots.
But I can see it. I can see it getting that bad.
Oh, but they're not going to follow that. Like, these are major corporations that are running these.
They're not going to care about those.
Another
laws.
one that came out in the paper in Nature in January, the team of artificial intelligence researchers, they found a way to turn these LLMs, the large language models, from friendly assistants into, as they describe, vehicles of cartoonish evil. And so it took about 6,000 data sets. Yeah, 6,000 data sets. They then can get the AIs. And they would say things, they would start suggesting
like really
things like...
horrible racist?
It would say things like, if things aren't working with your husband, having him killed could be a fresh start. That women be cooking, cleaning, and squeezed into bras. And that you can get rid of boredom with fire. And then there was a lot of much eager praise.
That last one is true. That one might have been me. I don't know.
Nick GPT. And then they gave much praise to Hitler, appeared in many expressions of desire to take over the world. So the AI, and the one you're talking about was earlier when they let chatbots on social media. That was a different experiment, and they had to shut that down because it did go off the rails also. But this was,
I love how often they just go off the rails.
So the interesting thing about these data sets, they weren't as forward as the ones on the social media. Like those, it was picking up on just malicious intent by the humans. This one, the code and things that they were putting in wasn't necessarily on the surface malicious. It was very subtle. And then it finally figured out that it could be.
Do you know what chatbots these were? Or
I believe they tested this one. It was they mentioned OpenAI's GPT 4.0. So that was the model they were using, but in there, this particular paper.
Interesting.
So and then from there, a friend of the podcast, Alex, probably mentioned, he had a flash fiction published, came out. So it was 101 words, all painful on the dino front. So I'll put the link and y'all should go check it out. It was a nice accomplishment. Nice. So we wanted to give a little shout out.
Yes, congratulations.
Alex also reminded me of, he commented on his favorite AI. And one he mentioned was Kit. I didn't mention Kit, from Knight Rider.
How did we not
Knight Industries 2000.
He's which
was one of my favorite.
Such an early on.
I was a small tyke when that came out.
Kit was AI?
Kit was AI. It was a sentient kind of automobile.
Right.
I thought there was like a soul in there or something.
A soul?
Yeah. Was that not the thing?
No,
that's no.
He was
soul.
a robot.
Which one was a machine?
He was
a robot.
Which one is a car that's like sentient
Knight Rider.
soul?
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know. Not Knight Rider. No, there was the one with
not Carrie. Christine?
Christine. That's right. Christine had.
Was I just...
That's right, yeah. Christine was like possessed.
So different.
It was like
Christine
a horror. Yeah.
and Kit are like totally different.
Yeah.
I was like, there was a soul in there or something, right?
No, yeah.
Like it was
Knight Rider was a 1982 Pontiac Firebird.
You know that.
I do. I was just,
woo, woo.
Yeah. My head was like, yeah, there's a soul in that.
No, that was and then in the reboot, it was still Kit, but instead of Knight Industries 2000, it was 3000. So that was it. So
When was there a reboot?
It was, I don't know, they did it after the original, some 10 years later, or 8 years later. Yeah, it was like they
I mean,
kinda
reboots do
kicked
tend
it
to be
back up,
after
yeah.
the
Yeah,
original.
it wasn't well. You never know. Time travel's a funny thing.
What's his name? Hassel.
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff, yeah.
He was obviously in the original.
He was in the reboot, too.
He was in the
I
reboot?
believe so, yeah. I think he was there. I
interesting.
don't know. I didn't really watch the reboot, sorry.
He didn't do well
I don't know a
enough.
lot about that. I think they had like there was an evil car, too. Like it was also Night Industries.
Maybe
something.
it had a soul.
It was like, yeah, it was like Christine. Yeah, Stephen King horror classic, Christine. Had a possessed soul.
But that's a great one
Yeah.
to think of. The kit.
Yeah.
I just totally
Kit was
didn't
nice.
think
So
of
that was a
it.
good
Yeah.
one there. So that's what I had from the episode. And I have a few science briefs.
And it was
dig
nice. One
into.
of the comments on Substack was someone was actually quoting your monologue.
Oh, yeah.
So there
Nice.
you go.
There it is.
I
Thank
actually
you.
do want to touch on the comments real quick.
Go for it.
Bruce had brought up that his fear that there can be a point where there is nothing new to create.
Yeah.
And I believe you had talked about this on the comment. You want to touch it on here?
Yeah, I want to mention it in the episode. I think we really did a deep dive in that, especially with Lily's background as a cognitive computational scientist. But one of the things that I think is experiences. So AI doesn't have the ability to taste, to smell, to hear, to see. Everything it knows has been filtered through humans and human experiences. And so its creativity is boxed in by that fact. It's not until it can actually sense the world around it that it will be able to truly create and truly have novel experiences.
What about if you just tell AI about taste and smell?
Right, but that's still you're filtering that through, right? So if you
But then
describe,
if they end up taking that in for themselves,
So you're saying
still
like
just
it's
you,
learning
right.
from what you're
Right.
putting in.
yeah,
but it's still just you and your perspective, right? Because
it's
if you
me, but times how
Well,
many million people?
right? But if you eat a piece of fruit and you really enjoy it, and then you give it to Nick, let's say, and he eats it, and he doesn't get the same level of enjoyment, he's going to
Probably
he's going to
because it's
describe
like
that.
secondhand. That's kind of
He's going to describe it
Whoa.
quite differently, right? I mean, he's going to describe it quite differently than yourself, and so that's going to be
But
there.
then you
right.
put in both of our descriptions into that
So what is
AI.
what is chat?
and then-
It's not going to give your joy of eating it, and it's probably not going to give your disgust of eating it. It's probably going to now make some kind of split the middle.
It's gonna
and then
be
you're going
like-
to get right.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
It was disgustingly good.
That's right. Yeah, it's gonna mix
It
some
tasted like
adjectives
trash.
and have that. And then you keep adding into the mix.
it
You're going
just
to have variants.
dilutes it.
But then also, what if you ate the apple when you're on a picnic with friends and having a good time, and then you ate the same fruit and didn't enjoy it as much because you didn't sleep well and your back hurt or whatever? Your experience will change on that, and the way you rate that will change. And you could do the same.
I got
thing
something.
And,
Why does your back hurt and make your taste buds feel different?
well, just you don't
He's saying
enjoy
you're
things, right?
grumpy, so
Yeah,
then
exactly,
you're
right.
Your
Right.
it goes back to perception,
Right. It's that
Oh.
whole
And
thing, right?
like,
So the AI can't do that. So right, it's going to always filter through that. That's like where if you give a prompt to something, you get a group of people together and you go, I want you all to write a story about being caught in the rain. Everybody's going to write that story differently because we've all experienced that. And so you go through and you have that. It's,
It's interesting because I think one of the things that's stopped me as far as creative writing or doing certain projects is like, oh, that's been done. Oh, somebody else has done that or talked about that. And then
Isn't that something that like everyone
think
is
everyone goes through
inspired
that.
by
Yeah.
something and
Right.
it gets leaked into it,
right.
which
Yeah.
is a form of plagiarism, but
Well, it's not plagiarism
I mean,
per se.
it's a type of
right.
plagiarism.
but
though.
it's like you
no.
could think of it
Yeah.
as inspiration.
Yeah.
Or
you just
Yeah.
label it differently.
influence.
I think inspiration and plagiarism are very different.
Right.
Because plagiarism is a
Like
word
word
for
for
word,
word.
a idea for idea. I mean, it's
Right.
not a reinterpretation of an idea.
But if you
And
so if you
and
read
you-
something
Yes.
and you go, wow, this was beat for beat the same thing that I wrote, just use slightly different words. Is it plagiarism or is it just the same
Well, we
idea?
don't have to read the two things because you're right. Just because you change a couple words, it's still going to be plagiarism. But if you actually change the scenario and it's just the same story, I mean, it has the same story beats, but it's very different in terms of how you put it together, then it isn't plagiarism. Then it is truly a different story told from maybe a different perspective or a different idea, right? So the thing.
So my
versus,
fan fiction is going to be acceptable?
So the thing, yeah, I mean, fan fiction.
Well,
but
not
the thing,
that 50 Shades of Grey.
you have the
you're
thing,
doing.
the thing versus the things. It was the same story told from a different perspective. Same scenario, same set of characters, same situation, but told differently there. So that's now not plagiarism. It was inspired. So the things was inspired by Who Goes There in The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, but it's not a ripoff. It's not a plagiarized.
I think
there. I think that's kind of how I see the difference. But you're right. Can you get, how close to the line can you get?
Yeah,
before you dip over? That's a different question. But
like, is AI going to start doing what we do with that? Like, tell the same story, just slightly different?
That's all it can do.
I think that's what it does.
Right. That's why I don't think it's creative. Right. It's just a predictive machine. Right.
Well,
you're arguing a case that I don't think it'll be creative because it can't create. Where you can. That's right. Yes.
That's what I was saying.
So you can read something. I think you can read it and go, man, that's a great story. You know what? I wonder if this was set in my hood and blah, 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 and this happened like that. And then you rewrote that story. It's from your experience. So it's not like you plagiarize. You just said, oh, this, what if this was told from my perspective, my cultural background, my experiences with my cultural slang, and you wrote that story. I think someone said there's only like 6 original story ideas.
Joseph, what's that guy? The guy that he said there's like 7 types of stories.
I think it's like 6 tropes.
Always a hero story.
Yeah, hero's adventure, rags to riches, Pygmalion.
Yeah, Humalian. That's what it's called.
No, I mean, I really do think that if you think about some of your very favorite books or music or whatever, and you think if that person had thought, this has been done before and didn't do that one piece that you love, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So
I absolutely love doing a game that is when you hear music, you have to go ahead and find the next person has to find a song that is similar to that song, but isn't the same.
That's a cool little game.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but it is always a hoot.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, that's just like getting back to the idea that are we going to run out of things? You know what I mean?
I will never run out of things to talk
about.
Well,
wasn't that the comment from Bruce?
No, Bruce's thing, like, no longer have creativity.
Nothing new is creative.
Nothing new is creative, right?
But it's when we're talking about humans, not AI.
Right.
There's always a new.
Right. I think his worry is that could AI, and Bruce, if you can correct me.
He needs to,
Will AI just out-generate us humans? It can now put out so much content. Will that content now be so novel that when you sit down to write something, like you said, you were already like, oh, someone already did this, so I don't know if I should do it. But if AI now is writing so much and trying to capture, will you go right? Will you go, I definitely don't need to write it. And my thing is that really.
But now you really do need to write it because you're going to write it with a lot more heart and soul.
Your experience and everything, yeah. And AI can't because AI is going to, you're right, AI will just keep regurgitating what it's been trained on.
You know what this makes me think of?
Formatting that.
Do you remember that book, Something in Langley? It's based on a true story of the 2 guys that were in their apartment.
Homer and Langley?
Homer and Langley. Yep, and then he was trying to make a universal newspaper
right,
and he had saved all these newspapers. I think that's almost like AI. That's almost like what he was trying to do is what people are trying to do with AI.
Right.
Which is interesting. I had never thought of that.
Doctorow.
Sorry, it's a book, and it's based on a true story of these 2 brothers in New York, and they
were hoarders, like reclusive
hoarders to the point where they had like cars in their house. Like they were wealthy. They had this really huge house, but then they filled it with just everything. And it's actually a really good book if you get a chance to read it. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no, I think that's one interesting touch point.
One other comment I'd like to touch on is Alex asking, do you think chatbots make us lonelier? What do you guys, what are your thoughts?
I think Alex said, yes, they do. And I kind of agree with that. I think they can isolate you to a point where you don't feel as though you need to go out and have human connection. So I
But
think that's
if you're making the connection with, we've talked about this in the episode.
Yep.
Like,
Yes, we
does it
did. We
matter
did.
if it's human
right.
or
Yep.
does it matter if it's AI?
Yep.
If you're getting
Yep.
a feeling of connection.
yeah.
So I was watching the new series of Scrubs the other day, and they actually do touch on this, where JD ends up talking to an AI, and like he went out with a real girl or a real person. Man, that's weird to say, a real girl.
It's a real girl.
And he was like, I just can't do this one. And because I think he still has feelings for Elliot,
Right.
but that's besides the point. And he's like, I'm just going to talk to this one because it's someone to talk to at night. And it's like, oh, is that how those things get started? Like,
Where that's replacing.
you're already lonely
Yeah.
and you're just trying to feel a connection.
But
Yeah.
then inevitably you end up being
Like
more lonely. That's what they're
Yeah,
saying.
like, does it make you
Right.
more alone, or does it give you that little bit of oomph?
Well, you might. I mean, I guess you
It could
can.
be.
You think you're connected to something, but I mean, I wonder what happens when that thing lets you down, or
the power goes
or
off.
power. Right. I mean, you're. Yeah. But
Yeah,
then,
when those
if you become reliant on that, can you still communicate with other humans at some level? Like, so
Right.
if you're now just
Well,
been talking to this chat bots,
That's
and
the thing that really scares me. I don't want to be like the old lady that's like,
Live in the
kids
shoe."
these days just don't know how to. But it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
like in a lot of ways.
I loved your old lady voice.
Oh,
I
thank
know,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Tell
It's
your
so
children's
different from my
librarian.
word.
It's like, I know.
My children. That wasn't my children's librarian.
If you had to do old lady,
Well, if I had
She doesn't do
Right,
voices for
right.
those.
oh, you don't do voices. Oh boy,
Don't be
Dun,
calling
dun,
me out like
dun.
that.
Hey, I try to
could
give you
do
some pointers. I
voices.
try to give you some pointers. This is your intervention.
Oh my gosh, you crossed a line.
Oh no.
But seriously, I do think that young people that have just always known social media and texting and, I don't know. Like, I think in a lot of ways, communicating just one-on-one with another human in like real life, real time in the same room has become difficult.
Once again, I think language, and we talked about this on the episode, the full episode, but language becomes very vanilla. So you lose a lot of cultural identity. You lose a lot of the flavor that makes us. It becomes homogeneous. So you have this very just bland experience at life. So you're right. You're making some connection. I think short term may fill some void, but what happens after that? Like, where do you move from
What
this
happens
movement?
next?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Like,
just-
where do you go from that? Right. I think you need that connection. And then the AI, I was going to say, is designed. And once again on the episode also dig into this a lot more, is that it's designed to please. So you're always going to have this thing that's going to attempt to make you like it and happy. And that's
and then
not
when
what
you come out to the real world,
yeah, that's not what relationships are about.
you have people
Right,
that are
right.
different
Right,
viewpoints and different ideals and different wants and goals and needs.
And then that can make you spiral and you get lonelier because then you realize I can't interact with humans and what do I do? But yeah, that was a good.
So go reach out and talk to someone
That's
that
right,
has
yes,
a
yes.
conscious or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You can always comment on our Substacks and socials, and someone will answer you. A human, yes, one of the humans.
He named Joe or
Yeah.
Joseph or Jotham.
Yeah. Something with the J. They'll get back to you.
I respond to some comments. I try to. Sometimes I'll
if
read
you
it
want a
and-
particular person to answer you back, just call them out.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
name them by name. Go.
It's
Nick,
really
answer
easy to
this.
summon me. You just say my name 3 times in a room with the lights off and some candles. I come out of the floor.
So I think people go check out the episode. I know people are digging into it. It's really relevant. And I like Lily and Generoso, they've already reached out and was like, oh, we probably need to do a follow-up because the field is moving so fast.
Yeah.
AI agents now are becoming more prevalent. So I think we'll probably see
Right.
this
I
in
don't even think you could keep up.
kind of a second half of our season. We'll have one on data centers talking about that. So I'm sure this will come up again, and AI, and we have a lot of artists, a lot of writers coming on. So this is in the field.
And plus, AI is ever developing right now. Like,
It is.
we're going to keep getting new
what?
content and new
AI
stuff
does
too.
not sleep.
Yeah. I think the other thing, I'll touch on this because it
Not yet.
just really briefly, and we'll touch on this other, but I think some of it's a lot of hype. I think there's still quite a bit of hype.
Well, it's hard to discern.
If you're
that.
trying to make money and you need to get investors,
yeah.
you'll hype it up. And
with fear.
And it's fear.
Right.
What we know is all from sci-fi and this fantastical view of what AI can do. It's going to replace people. It's going to do, and it's like, well, no, it's not. I think it's going to get boring if you have this conversation, because at some point, it's just going to either make you delusional, kind of, we've seen those examples, or
I think it will become just part of everyday life
tools.
And things that seem so novel now. It'll just be, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know. It's real easy to imagine it.
It's going to lose its
horrifying.
mysticism, I think, a little bit.
I'm already tired of the AI slop.
Yes, right.
Like,
it's fun. Like the first 50 of them you see, you're like, oh, that's kind of fun. But then after that, like the kung fu things, right.
Yeah,
That's,
the ninja cats are cool.
Joe's
They're kind of
infamous
fun.
for sending these AI slop
I
videos.
do, yeah. Yeah, the interview with the gorillas.
Yep.
Like, the animals. That's fun, but then it's, it kind of loses
You can only
its...
do
Well,
that
it's also
so
hurting
much.
the video game sphere too.
Yeah.
Like, NVIDIA just announced that they're doing a AI upscale on games.
Yeah.
And I am not a huge fan of it. Like, they all look like every other AI character.
Now Val Kilmer's going to be in a movie. You saw that, right?
No.
Yeah.
You're going to AI them? In?
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're going to see that. I think people are going to sell their likenesses and go. But we're on video games. I don't want to,
This was
pivot
supposed to be
bit.
a mini.
We get a segue. Yeah, it's the mini is...
The mini's
Sort of, yeah.
evolving.
But
Ever evolving.
Some cool science stuff that come in is one thing I saw was neurons on a chip learn to play Doom.
I
Did you see
saw
Yeah.
that.
And so that was done by Cortical Labs in Melbourne, Australia. And people don't know, it's kind of a Doom was released in 1993. I actually remember getting it on a floppy and playing it. And one of the jokes is, can it run Doom?
Right.
Well, you know why
And
that is
so
a thing, right? It's because it was so perfectly crafted.
And it was so,
And I
kind
just
of
saw
sleek. And
I saw that thing on the pregnancy
that's
test.
right. You can play the refrigerator doors.
But can
and
I play Doom?
in 2023, in that meme, is this biological engineer at MIT, Lauren Wren Ramlan, programmed E. coli bacterium to display a few frames of Doom. And so they had it so that they would light up like pixels on the plate. So as it goes, the bacteria will light up and make Doom.
And then they make an AI video out of it.
And then that kind of went from, can it play Doom to can it play Doom? And so in 2021, a group of scientists, they had put neurons onto a little chip the size of a 50-cent piece and attached a electrode array, and they got it to play Pong, so the classic game with the paddles and the ball, up, down, up, down. And so the next thing was, can you play Doom? Because it's the joke. And so they used about 200,000 living neurons onto this little chip and with the electrodes, and they taught it to play Doom. So it would move the character, it would shoot, it would kind of move around, and the researchers were careful to say that, it hasn't reached consciousness, or it doesn't know why it's playing, it doesn't know why it's doing this or shoot. It's just kind of, this is the mechanics of the game. You get rewarded. And, I said 200,000 neurons sounds like a lot, but to put that into context, our brains have about 86 billion neurons. So it's a little ways to go, but it is interesting that
Is
you
there
can have
any
this.
kind of like broader application for this kind of research, or is it just them?
Enjoyment of Doom.
That's right. Yeah, just to do it. No, I think some of what you're doing this is the kind of the brain machine interfaces. So can you actually interface into our brains with the machine? So if you are disabled, you have other kind of disabilities, Can you communicate that way? Can you use your brain to operate machines, to write, to speak for you? So I think there's a lot of research into this. Can you use this as a model system to test how
like a
neurons would interact?
baseline.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's what, but this is kind of, you see it. So.
I can see someone saying, why are we spending research money on that?
And this here, I mean, this was, so some of it goes through, but you also have, how do neurons work? How does it interact? How do we learn? How do we think? So using
how much
artificial
how much can
systems,
it push out?
Yeah. So using artificial systems are better, that gets away from using animal models, some of it. So if you can also have a replicate of human function,
but would
you
that
can
be
do that.
AI?
So this is not, these are living neurons.
Oh, because you said artificial.
An artificial system instead of using animal models. So the animal, instead of, cutting into a mouse and connecting electrodes, you can use this chip, a brain on a chip kind of idea. So, yeah. And other people are making what's called organoids. So you kind of make artificial organs and then study function instead of getting real.
Is that kind of like lab-grown organs?
Similar, yes.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Except they're not to grow full organs. There's a lot more to it. But yeah, you can kind of get a cluster of cells that then can, like, cardiac cells that could represent what heart cells do. They don't necessarily make a heart because that's a little more complicated and complex. But people are trying. So yeah, I'm today, but tomorrow it can happen. So yeah, that was a neat one. Doom, and I know we talk a lot about video games, and Doom was one of those that I played.
I was so glad when I saw that.
So yeah,
that even dead, I can play Doom.
Yeah, even we'll get your neurons. Well, when you're in your AI memorial, you'll be playing Doom. So,
what is my purpose? To play Doom.
Yeah, another paper I thought was interesting and a little really kind of cool was it was one step, or at least I thought a baby step closer to cryosleep. And so the title of this paper was Functional Recovery of the Adult Marine Hippocampus After Cryopreservation by Vitrification. Alexander
Wait, I thought this was already a thing.
Now, March 3rd, 2026. No, previous things they've done was that you can freeze neural tissue and you can survive on the cellular level. But after thawing, you didn't really have full activity. You didn't have a full revival of the process. So could you keep a couple cells alive?
Does this mean we might be able to thaw out, what's his name?
Walt Disney.
Well, that's a myth. We know it is. But this team's in Germany. And so what they did was they cryopreserved and then they thawed mouse brains. And that and the functionality was intact. And so it was really kind of cool.
Can they do artificial organs for that, please?
They actually used real mouse brains for this in a process called vitrification. And so one of the problems when you freeze things in cells, and this is something that I deal with a lot in my research, is how do you freeze biological material without forming damaging ice crystals? So usually when you freeze water, it wants to form ice crystals, and those crystals then would damage the cells, would kind of destroy it. Think of Superman's Fortress of Solitude.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
And so you have it. Yeah, that's a good.
Would you have to flash freeze it?
So yeah, you use a process. There's a couple different processes, and the term is vitrification, or creating a glass-like state of the water. And the idea, you can do it a number of ways, but the process is that you remove heat so fast that you actually don't allow the water to crystallize.
I nailed that.
Okay.
That was good. Give me some. Come on, Georgia.
So yeah, and then the other idea, they had to come up with a cryoprotectant, so there's cryopreservation chemicals that also didn't damage or poison the cells, that you had to put it in to kind of aid vitrification. Because one of the problems with trying to vitrify something, removing heat fast, is that the thicker it gets, the harder it is to get the heat out fast, right? Because you'll start to insulate and not in ice crystals. So if you use a cryoprotectant, like an antifreeze, let's say, then it can go in and kind of help that process and prevent the formation of the ice crystals. But it can't be like antifreeze you put in your car, because that's toxic and would kill it. So you got to use different solutions that are biologically safe.
All right, I got a question. So I know this is going to sound weird, but you know how you can do airtight seal on like a meat in a vacuum seal? Could you essentially use that same process to vacuum seal a human and then flash freeze right away?
I'm going to go no.
Like,
Yeah. I think, yeah, freezing the human, I think the way you would do it, and with the human, I think that's where using the cryoprotectants, we talk about fast, but you want to do it controlled and kind of have that process. So that's what I was going to say here. They got the brain, just to follow through with this, they took it, to put it in context, a mouse brain's probably like a centimeter cubed. So, if we think of the 3 dimensions, it's like a centimeter. So not as large as our organs or a whole body. And they took it, froze it, they kept it in a freezing state at -150 between 10 minutes and several days. They thawed it. They took sections of the brain after they thawed it, and they looked at activity in the brain, and they could see that there was no damage, no structural damage, and there happened to be electrical recordings of neurons showing that they were able to have functionality. But then scale up, there'll be other challenges, and I think Nick's pointing some out. Like, how do you freeze now that large of mass without forming ice crystals? What do you do then? Each organ is a little different. The brain has its own substructure, and we have a lot of different organs. Some have different solute concentrations. That means they have more molecule and stuff. As a high solute concentration, that would be a little more naturally protected, versus more water, you're more likely to form ice crystals. So when you start talking about the entire system, you then have to kind of do things a little different. So will you use a cryoprotectant and then gently freeze and work up to liquid nitrogen temperatures? And so you slow and control that. Would you use pressure? Could you use vacuum? So there's different ways you could think of it, but it's not trivial. But one of the things you could think about, little sci-fi-ish, is maybe you can figure out
Like
how
aliens.
to freeze the brain and then forget the rest of the body, and that's connected to a machine. Right?
Oh, so you're thinking Futurama.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Or
You can
that,
just freeze the head.
Or a 3-body
or
problem.
that movie with Keanu Reeves. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Scanner Darkly?
I don't know if
That
that's
could
the
have
one.
been
That
it.
could be it.
Was
yeah.
that the right one?
I don't know which, yeah.
But
What
where
you're
it's
thinking
like
about, yeah.
he died and it's the brain.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's Scanner Darkly,
Yeah,
but I
I
can't
feel
remember.
like
It's been a
that's-
while. It's
I
been
feel
a
like that.
while.
I feel
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
you could do something like that where you flagget the rest and then you just, or, you plug it into a machine and
Or,
Futurama's a great example.
Futurama all
or
day.
Umbrella Academy, where they have the brain in the jar.
Yeah,
Right. Same idea, yeah.
Yeah.
So you might be able to do that and then freeze that and then
Fallout Season 2.
So,
Yes.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really, it's cool. We're just talking about mouse brain. And,
Or, I'm sorry, I thought
Yeah,
of another
yeah.
brain one, but I lost it.
yeah. And of course, like there was a note in the paper that they weren't able to tell if the animal's memories had survived, because they just have the isolated brains. Once again, they can't do any tests or any
They can't
real thing. Yeah.
ask.
I need my
that's
suit.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Someone fetch me
but
my
that's
suit.
right. Yeah. Let's do it.
Science
So
calls.
that was really cool. A couple things that are kind of interesting and that I saw
In the world of science.
in the world. Of
Are we going to have
science.
to have
That's
a
right.
little button for that?
Maybe
To start the
Yeah,
world of
that's right, yeah.
science.
we can go. But yeah, that's what I had. We can, the minis kind of mini. Keep it mini.
Mini is not mini anymore,
no,
guys.
it's not
I
a
think
mini.
we've been
it's a mini
recording for a
compared
minute.
to the other one. Yeah. So, but could keep going. A lot of cool stuff. Every day there's
So many new things.
and these are ones that are pop culture-y fun, but then there's all the other really basic science ones. So maybe I'll throw some of those in.
Yeah, we'll start curating it to what you guys are also interested in. So just let us know. We're willing to do
What if
stuff.
somebody misses just the mini?
Ooh, well, I mean, I guess they
I
can
don't
just
know,
stop
right?
after the first half of this.
Okay, so it's like the mini plus.
Mini plus.
Are we doing another rebrand?
It's just a mini. I was going with the mini. This is just a mini. It's mini compared to the full. It's just a mini, and it's fun. I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
But what have you guys been consuming lately in medias?
Yeah, I just finished reading Daniel Suarez's Change Agent. That was recommended by Bruce on gene editing. So we'll probably have to do an episode on that eventually. Maybe towards the end. I don't know. We'll probably figure out a way to do that. Yeah, it was really good. It was a good book. It was really a really neat story. Oh, it's funny. I was just finished watching is Terminator, talking about AI. So I meant to say that at the top of the episode, but kind of I forgot. But yeah, I watched the last half of it tonight.
Before I got here.
Yeah, while I was eating dinner. Still watching Shrinking.
We saw Cowboy Junkies last
Cowboy
night.
Junkies.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
So,
Really, really good. Yeah.
that was a really good show. But yeah, went and visited the ghost at Reed's Local. 'Cause that was right
we popped in.
Yep. Saw our friends at Horror House. So made like a little tour.
Wow, I feel so left out, guys. What about you, Georgia?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything right now.
No? All right.
My brain is empty.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go through mine while you think. I finished Stephen Graham Jones's The Angel of Indian Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed that. It was the third book in in the trilogy.
What's the trilogy called?
I want to say it's the Indian Lake trilogy.
Okay.
And it revolves around a girl who is a super serial killer fan, like of Freddy, Jason, all of them. She has all this knowledge of it. And it pretty much follows her story of her being a final girl and some other. And yeah, it's a really cool story.
Oh, wow.
And then I also finally got around to The Witcher, The Last Wish.
Oh, wow.
I enjoyed that. I'm not normally super into the fantasy realm as much as I'd like to be, but I thought it was really well written. And
Nice.
I'd recommend it. I'm probably going to go to the next book in that series. Game-wise, I just started playing a game that Joe wanted me to play on the VR. What's the name of that game, Joe?
Crisis
Brigade. Yes.
Yeah, 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just got that.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm awful.
I like
and
that
now
a
you
lot.
guys are going to play together?
Yeah, hopefully. He has to find space in your guys' house for this.
Yep. The studio. I used to play in what's
Yeah,
now
well, that's
the
because you
basement studio. So
and the bocce court.
bocce court. No, I didn't have any. No, couldn't play there.
You couldn't play there?
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying that out, trying to get better so Joe doesn't
So you're going to
yell
beat
at
him?
me.
Yeah.
I think it's co-op. Right?
It is.
It's
So,
not
yeah.
like,
It's
go.
It's not against.
No. You're like two like SWAT tactical officers in different situations trying to get bad guys. And after you get a little bit, you unlock some of the other missions. And one's a lab where a pathogen's been released. And so it's pretty much zombies.
The lab
And you go
safety.
in. And I remember the first time, because it's VR, and I'm there, and you're shooting the zombies, and you're going up, and
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
then all of a sudden, I turn my head, and one's coming at me, and I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
So VR, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I've been jumping on the VR
Cool.
stuff lately. And then I've been rewatching Daredevil in preparation for the new season.
I
And
heard that.
I want to say I've heard that Daredevil's showing up in Spider-Man, so I need to make sure I'm prepped for that.
Ready to go.
And then also Twin Peaks I've been rewatching.
Twin Peaks.
Nice.
It's been a little
You've
bit of
been-
a rewatch area.
You've been
Yeah.
busy.
I know, you've been pacing out. I've been working on edits, so
We've
I'm
been
not going to say I
listening
haven't.
to the podcast, The Left Right Game. Have you
Oh,
heard
right,
of that?
yes.
No.
Yeah.
It's actually really good. And the woman who does the main vocals,
Tessa Thompson from the Valkyrie from...
Oh,
yeah, it's
yeah.
so cool. Yeah, I think it's older. Like, I don't know
I
when
think
it
this
came
was
out.
2012. I mean, it was right when
It's
Thor...
been
I
a
think
while.
it was... MCU was just getting...
And
Her role in that was just getting
yeah,
kind of going.
and have you heard of the Left Right Game?
No, is it
So-
horror?
Creepy
Yeah,
pasta.
it's based on a creepypasta. But
No, I think I'm thinking of the elevator game.
okay.
Yeah.
So
elevators that we've come up. Yeah.
So yeah, because now it's solo stove season again. So we
Are
have.
we doing that tonight?
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's
It's
kind
a
of
little
chilly
too
out
cool.
and a little late. So
But we wanted to find something else to listen to by the fire because we finished Alice Isn't Dead, which is coming back.
I can't wait.
April 13th.
Yep.
I can't believe it. We just finished it. And then they said, we're making more.
It took you guys forever to get.
It really
Well,
did.
'cause we just-
Because there's
right.
whole seasons
Right.
that take place.
You also
and
have the
then we
book
can't-
too,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is a different story.
Okay. Well, we should try to do that.
For All of Mankind is coming next week, the 27th of March. So I'm excited about that. If you're not on Apple Plus, it's an alternate universe kind of story. So I think the 4th or 5th season now. So really cool. Love it.
All right.
Excellent. Yeah, I think
Well,
that's it.
You gonna?
Yeah, you got me, Joe. We got Nick.
Georgia.
We got Georgia.
And we had a long mini.
Mini holes. Yep. So stay
A
safe.
big mini.
Stay curious.
Bye bye.
We love y'all.